Gazpacho. Hi, this is Marino with elegantfemme.com. You know, are you guilty of this? Today I'm going to be teaching you as a woman how you can stop complaining. So let's be real about something. Because even if you're a conscious woman, and obviously you are, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't, you may find yourself every now and again falling into a little bit of complaining. All right? So I'm going to be teaching you in a few minutes here, just a few minutes, exactly how you can stop that as a woman and what it is that you can do. I'm going to share with you actually one of my personal little tricks that really has changed everything for me and for my husband as well. So let's talk about first why we even do complain. Because if we know it's not good for us, and we know that, right? As women, we've done studies, and we even know when we start complaining, it's not good for us. It doesn't feel good. But the majority of us don't even know that we're complaining when we're doing it. All right? So that's the first problem. We're going to know how to address that in just a minute. But why do we complain? Because oddly enough, when we start complaining, it feels a little good in the beginning, doesn't it? I mean, just a little bit if we're going to be real with each other and with ourselves. We start to complain because it relieves tension, okay? You complain because you've built up some pressure and some tension and you want to get rid of it. You want to relieve it. And complaining is a very quick but detrimental way to relieve that tension, okay? So what we want to be able to do as women are two things. We've got two objectives when it comes to complaining. One, we need to identify when we're complaining because very often we don't realize we're doing it. And number two, we need to find a better way to relieve the tension. All right? So the number one objective being you need to figure out when you're complaining. When you're in that mood and that space, and I know for me personally, when I'm getting into that space and I start complaining, I start feeling it a little bit inside, the last thing I want is my husband or somebody else to tell me, you know, you're complaining a lot right now. Because what does that do? That just makes us even want to complain even more. We get upset and we get negative. We don't want anybody telling us what to do. So we need to find a good way to identify whether we're complaining. Right? So that we can shift that behavior and relieve the tension in another way. So my husband and I have come up with something that we love, and it's called gazpacho. Now, I'm going to explain to you why we say gazpacho, and then I'm going to encourage you to utilize your own way of doing this. So we say to each other, gazpacho, when we find the other one complaining. Okay? So this does two things. It lets the other one know that, hey, look, you're complaining, and I'm letting you know you're complaining. Because what does gazpacho mean to me and my husband? Well, when we think about gazpacho, gazpacho means cold soup, right? That's the translation of gazpacho. Have you ever had it at a restaurant? Have you ever seen it on the menu, just so you don't know? If you don't know, that's what it is. Gazpacho is cold soup. So when my husband and I say gazpacho to each other, we're saying, look, at least you got soup. Okay? It might be cold soup, but at least you got soup. So stop complaining. Gazpacho, you got the soup. I don't care if it's cold or not. You got it. Stop complaining. Really, it means to us, look, things are pretty good. All right? So stop complaining about the soup being cold or not. You got soup. Gazpacho. So that shifts us out of it and lets the other one know you're complaining. Number two, what is our second objective as a woman? It is to actually relieve the tension. Because remember, the reason we start complaining is because we've built up pressure and we want to relieve the tension. So we found something funny to say to each other because what is the best way really to relieve tension? It's laughter. It's humor. That relieves the tension immediately. So we came up with something funny and cute that shakes us out of that space that also makes us laugh. So it handles two objectives. One, it lets each other know that you're actually complaining. You may not realize it, but at least you got soup. Okay, gazpacho, you're complaining. Number two, it's something funny that actually relieves the tension and it brings us out of that space. So as a woman, I want you to look for something in your life. You're absolutely more than welcome to use gazpacho if you'd like to, or come up with your own. Look for a way that you can have somebody close to you help you identify when you're complaining. And then number two, look for a way that you can laugh and immediately relieve the tension. That'll shift you out of that complaining and into a more expansive space so you can allow yourself to stop complaining as a woman and get back to what it is you're really wanting, which is to feel expansive, to feel good, and to feel gratitude in your life. All right? So it's time for us as women to stop complaining and gazpacho. All right? I'd love for you to leave a comment below about what it is that you do to move yourself out of that complaining space. All right, I'd love to hear from you. It's been gorgeous to share this information with you. It's a beautiful day. The sun's coming out, and I want to hear gazpacho, right? It's a little cloudy, but at least I've got some sun. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.